All right. What's up, Jack?
I'm in
How
Florida
you
now.
doing? You're in Florida? How'd that happen?
I'm dog sitting for 3 weeks in Naples, Florida for my parents.
So, when I hear Florida and dog sitting, are you just like taking care of like a regular guy down there?
Yeah, there's just a guy here. It's not my brother, by the way. It's just some man that lives with my parents.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, the Florida man meme is one of the most accurate memes. Florida
It
people are
is,
insane.
yes, they are. I actually have a Florida driver's license, and I have for
Really?
maybe 5+ years now. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
I became a Florida resident. Well, when I was young and I dropped out of college, I was like, wait, what am I going to pay? Connecticut taxes or Florida taxes?
Ooh,
I could do both. I could do
that's
either.
smart.
Because I don't have a location. I go to school or whatever. So I became a Florida man.
Yeah. Did that
That's a
change your
scheme.
mentality? That is a scheme, 100%.
Well, I started engaging with critter crawls in Florida, so definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Do you
definitely.
deal with alligators down there? Because that's one reason why I think I wouldn't move there.
Dude, I found bear shit today.
Bear shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's bears.
Yeah,
There's
I
mountain
don't trust
lions. There's
bears.
bears.
Oh
There's
my god.
alligators. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not about any of that. I mean, at a distance, I like them. Like I like deers. I really like deers.
You're
They
an
vibe with
herbivore.
me. Yeah, 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 yeah. They
Hmm.
they never run when I'm around. They feel very safe.
Yeah. Well, you're just not a threat, you know.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's just a coder.
Yeah.
So, what's the
So
what?
what's been
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, what's the latest scheme that you've been up to? What's been happening? Or we can talk about Florida.
I don't know, dude. The world's ending. Um, Everyone sucks. Everyone's gay now. They're teaching kids to be trannies. I don't know. What's the scheme of the world? I don't like. Why even scheme? Is there even going to be a tomorrow? You know, we're going to have nuclear
Is that
war.
where you're at? What
Russia's going to kill all of us.
you've been watching on a negative YouTube loop or something? Like, what's happening, buddy? Have you been
No,
on
I
a
just I
Reddit?
need a pep
What Reddit
talk.
thread have you been on? You need a
All
pep
of them.
talk,
Yeah.
Jared. Can I? Do I have to tell you that everyone has always said that the next generation is fucked their entire lives? And by the way,
Yeah.
they are. But also, we get less Ebola and all that, and like life expectancy increases. We are pretty obese right now, and we have some like pretty lame things in society. But like, if it's any consolation, we've always been fucked, and we're gonna stay fucked forever. So
Yeah.
you just don't like our variation of fucked. I think that's your problem.
I think so. I think I would rather be in medieval times fucked. I think that's a better like time period to be fucked in. You
I don't
know,
know about that, dog. I got to be honest. Do you
because
like being a slave or getting
well,
some terrible disease at 2 and then dying?
the thing is, the world's more simple because you can just like the you just get men under you and then you give them arms and then everything's simple. That's the
You
scheme.
have to, yeah, but you have to survive that long.
Yeah, if you make it past 10, because they always inflate the age rate or whatever, or the mortality rate. People who made it past 10 were like 80 back then. It's just everyone
Yes,
died before 10.
yes,
You were like just
100%.
super like strong. It's like I think medieval times. It's probably the best times. It's for scheming at least. Dude, everyone just
No.
believe everything. You have like magic.
Okay, so you can do magic. I mean, like, yeah, okay, but you had everyone. No one had access to knowledge. No one had access to food. Everything was trying to kill you. Everyone was conquering you, and religion led to persecution constantly. It was a terrible time to
Dude,
be alive.
that's what your public school books told you. I think back then everyone was like awesome and really nice,
No,
and
the
you.
life expectancy was like 30.
I know, I'm just playing.
I know.
Um,
It was terrible, and you know it. You know how horrible it was.
I'm just coping. I'm coping with. No, no, no. Our day and age is cool. I'll be optimistic. Because the cool thing about our day and age is we have the internet, and if you just choose discipline, you can just do whatever you want. We have like this like weird. resource game where if you just understand the internet, like coding, if you understand entrepreneurship, sales, you kind of have this like free for all game.
Yeah, you do have the free for all game, and also, I mean, uh, you can do like you have the ability, like to your point, you have the ability to do whatever you want. Like, there's no
Yeah.
limitations on like what you can attempt to try. Like back then, there was like three jobs, mostly because you didn't know that there were more than three jobs. You literally only knew of three. It was like kill things, make things, uh,
Yeah.
fix things. So like be a maid or a repairman or whatever. So
That's
it's a
kind of
tough
the way it is
existence.
now, though. Kill
Yeah, but there's
things, make
more.
things,
There's
fix
more. There's
things.
more. Yeah, but there's yeah. Of course, those are the bigger buckets. But like, there's
Yeah,
more sub variations of all those, and the sub variations are much more pleasant.
it's true. Yeah, there's a lot less violence now, which could be good. It could be for the best.
Really? Do you like getting your ass kicked or like death threatened to you? Because I hate it.
No, I definitely no. It's good that we have less violence now. It's good.
It.
It's a good thing.
I'd say so.
Yeah, it's
I'd say
just like
so.
yeah. Part of our, it's just we live in a weird reality. It's a very weird reality. What do you think about like the types of schemes people should get in today? What do you think?
The types of schemes we should get into today, like in
Like
this
if you were
Schemeology
gonna,
episode.
oh, I guess like if there's like an 18-year-old right now, what type of scheme should they do?
Jared,
What do you think? Oh yeah, hello.
either I've died or Jared has died.
Do you
Hello.
hear me? Yeah, hello. You can't hear me?
Nope. Don't hear you
Is
even
anyone?
slightly.
Oh, interesting.
It's like roboto.
Um, I don't know.
Is it me?
It might be you. I don't know. Is anyone here to? We hear both of you. Oh, you guys hear us? Hey, what's up, Reed? I hear both of you, nerds. Hey, what's up, James? Jack is freezing. Jack, I think your Florida internet's is messed up. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Jack died. Jack, refresh. Can someone in the? I'm gonna tell in the chat. Jack, refresh the page. How you guys doing? Yeah, he's drowning. Oh no! I was wondering why. I felt like time to fire Jack. I could take the right. Yeah, James, can you get on? Are you there? Hold on, I got a private chat. Oh, Jack's back. Jack's back. Hold on. Yeah,
My
James, is James there? Could he come in to replace you?
No, he can't come in. Get out of here. They're gonna replace me. My identical twin's gonna come in and take my seat, my throne.
You guys don't look similar enough that people would know, though. That's the thing.
I mean, we definitely. I mean, we look very similar. You
You look
just
similar, but it would be like someone would know it's a different guy for sure.
Many would not, Jared. I can tell you this from confidence because I've been living this existence most of my life.
No, I'm gonna tell you about how it is to be a twin. Anyway, so
We're back. Listen, my internet died, and I'm a terrible host of a podcast, especially a live one at that. This is what happens when you
all
become a
right.
Florida man.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, we're back. No, I just want schemes. The question is, what sort of schemes would you advise 18-year-old kid who wants to get into scheming? What do
What
you
would I
think?
advise? What would I advise getting in? So I would start. I like to think from logical levels. So the first
Okay,
level I'd think about would be like, what skill trees are going to be around in
skill
25 to
trees.
50
Nice.
years, right? We like to
Yeah,
think in
yeah.
terms of video games. Like, is coding going to be important in 25 years? Is design going to
I
be
like that.
important in 25 years? Probably not. Is
Yeah,
like, are things going to be around that are going to be really valuable? It's hard to predict right now. And then I would find the areas in those different skill trees that you're good at. Like for me, I like talking, so I'd be like double down on like community building,
yeah.
presenting, pitch fundraising, pitching investors, things like that. So I would always double down on skill, and those skill trees are going to be valuable because it's like interpersonal. So I try and pick things that are going to be last a long time, and then I'd go from there. And then I'd
So
try.
you're saying start a cam girl business,
Right. I mean, listen, people.
right? Okay, I just want to make it very clear.
Hey, how much do you make a year? Because I have some dumb friends that make $10,000 to $15,000 a month, taking feet pics online.
Oh my god, that made me sick. That just
Yeah,
made me sick. Hearing that just made me sick right now.
yeah, you've got a new strain of COVID.
Yeah, it's the degenerate version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the D variation.
yeah, if you the selling feed pics grind is probably one of the worst things that happen to humanity. Like it's too because life can't be that easy. It can't be that you can't just sell feed pics and then you're making like millions of dollars. Like that's like it's too much of a hack. It's too much of a hack.
I don't know. Being born a king is a hack. Like there
Yeah,
have always been hacks. Being the only person who's
but
not diseased or like above 6 foot back in like 1,000 years ago.
if you're born like a king though, you get to like you'll probably get like a some sort of like addiction to methamphetamines. That's like because there was always opium. There was always opium.
There wasn't always meth. Like meth is pretty recent too. I think
No,
the
I mean
Germans invented it.
you get the vibes of what I'm. Or yeah, are kings happy? That's the thing. That's the thing. Like I think like if you're born a king, that kind of sucks. Like everyone wants to kill you. Like you're taking a deal. If you're born in a world where you could just sell, if you're a girl, you could just sell your feed pics and make $1 million. You're kind of like stuck in an internal hell where you just only get resources and never learn anything.
That's true, but it depends on what your value structure is. If you just value like, hey, I want to have money so I can like build a house, explore hobbies, travel, or whatever, then like you can live a really nice life doing it. So I'm always going to play devil's advocate with you, Jared.
Yeah.
That's going to be my job always. Realize that I'm here to disagree.
So, what if my value system is to sell feed pics to fund my cam girl business so I can become a warlord in Dubai?
Wow,
That's my values.
that's oddly specific. I got to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I no. Did I never mention that? I think the chat knows. I think yeah.
Listen,
So I'm gonna become
that's
a
a great
warlord in
scheme.
Dubai.
Hey, you can make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, like cam girl business, feed pics. I don't know. If you're gonna become a warlord, what type of warlord would you be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I would have a good 8 years. I'd have 8 solid years of just like I would have like really be. I wouldn't be addicted to like whatever the local drug was yet, like whether it was like
Yeah,
gunpowder mixed with opium or what. Like inevitably when like drugs take over my empire and like
yeah,
I start putting in like I give too much nepotism to my friends who are like horrible leaders and like
yeah,
just end up like destroying different parts of my government and like my overlordship. And then eventually 8 or 9 years in, a civil war would start and I get decapitated. That's my beliefs. I think that that's the kind of warlord I would be.
yeah, yeah. I think like I feel like you would be like you'd be too quick to like hang out, and then because you can't hang out when you're a warlord for too long, because then everyone just tries to kill you. I think that'd be my problem too.
No, if the only way to maintain warlord status is to keep building more power into your tribe, and then you basically pay everyone off, like because you're conquering so much and like fucking everyone else over, you gain lots of money, and then you distribute it to the people who like live under your warlordship. But the
Yeah,
second that funnel runs dry, everyone goes back to wanting to kill you.
that's in the Prince, dude. Men are being exploited for them. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Andrew Pate is selling courses to because I think they read the audio here to kids, making them buy into the illusion that they'll become millionaires if they follow them. Yeah, like that's the scheme right now is selling masculinity to lost kids and then pumping them out. There's so much of that happening. I think that yeah, but that's really the same exact thing as like being a warlord in like the the 16th century in Italy. It's the same thing. It's just now it's on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, it's I the problem is men are just susceptible to this stuff. Like it's like you create technology that allows visuals to be distributed on the internet. Men are idiots and think with their dicks, and so they're very easily manipulated. And especially with like it's just that's just kind of the thing. So like sex and porn, all these things can just easily suck up the male population and
Yeah,
distort their brains and create a very unhealthy segment. And it's like I don't know, men can kind of get their shit together too. Like you can just
yeah,
stop being a little boy and like grow the fuck up. I'm sick of
yeah,
all these men being like, I'm being exploited and hurt. It's like, grow the fuck up. Like I don't know if you've like people were getting like destroyed and abused and like society used to suck for men back when you had to work in I don't know coal mines and like now you're like I have to work at fucking Chuck E. Cheese. It's like I don't know,
yeah. For the I think
go get a skill and like talk to a
yeah,
girl.
I do think like I've definitely had those thoughts. Like I think the where I landed on that is now I don't know. Like the more I learn, the more I'm like you don't know people's demons though, and I think like there's a lot of demons now, or like especially with like when you are developing and you're like not going through your rites of passages and filling your purpose and you don't have like lineage and honor and all that like that you can I can see how someone could be like, oh, working at Chuck E. Cheese is hell. And I'm not going to validate them for that, but like, I used to be a little more on your side of like,
I'm
just
just
get your
not.
shit together. But
I'm
now
just
I
not.
kind of,
But
yeah,
here's the thing. What I'm trying to say is like I don't like to take this whole thing of like men are specifically being exploited. So are women. Like it's all fucked. For all like there's
yeah,
problems
yeah,
on all sides. It's like the problems are just different for women than they are for men. Like my friend who's staying with me today, she had a police officer stop her in an airport yesterday and yelled at her and made her cry in an airport at 3 a.m. because her flight was delayed.
well,
And
that's just
then
because cops suck.
well, no, and then created an Instagram account and DM'd her today asking how she was,
Yeah.
trying to fuck her. That's a fucking police officer.
Well,
So that's what
yeah.
my friend has to deal with, and that's the has that ever happened to you, Jared?
That yeah, it happens like all the time. No, but I,
But my point is just like
yeah,
men are being exploited, women are being exploited. Society sucks today, and I think it's really dangerous to pull this like otherism, like our group is being.
I get what you're saying.
It's like everyone's being fucked over, and everyone's experience is valid. Don't make yourself your group. You don't want to groupify yourself. I don't like any groupification. You know what I'm trying to say?
I get what
Like
you're saying.
we're all people. I don't want to go down the groupification route.
There is, but the only pushback. No, I agree with that. The only pushback I do have is like if there's things happen, like it's good to say things out loud, like in the public
Yes.
when you see things. Like it's not even that it's a men versus women thing now, as much as like there are there you can go to a Brooklyn bar right now and get in an argument about toxic masculinity and never get in an argument about toxic femininity. Like there is something specific when it comes to men when it comes to that, but downstream from that, when the men go astray, the women go astray, and I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
where it's like everyone's and then the schemers just are the ones who profit, you know.
Yeah, I think my view of society is like we're in a period where we're overcorrecting problems.
Hundred
So
percent,
and
hundred
like
percent.
and if we look at like women did have disproportionately like an unfair work environment, sexual harassment, so like there was problems that like, and then now we're overcorrecting like and we're going to the extreme to solve it, which is like
Yeah,
and that happens by the way. It's the same thing for racial issues, political issues, immigration. All of it's overcorrection where we swing to
the
an ex,
overcorrection.
we
Yeah,
overcorrect and go all right, so we should we shouldn't be mean to immigrants, so that means we should let all immigrants into the country
no,
illegally all
no,
the time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like
The-
the constant swing is always just extreme.
it's just funny because my brother and I always say that my oldest brother and I always say the overcorrection when about what's happening now. That's actually really funny. Uh, oh, Jax, I can't hear you now. Jack, are you like okay today? Is now you're muted?
Good.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Good.
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
okay today. I don't. It might just be Florida internet. I'm not in a safe
You,
environment.
you go to Florida for one stream, and now like everything's just in chaos. I just
I'm a Florida man. This is what happens,
this
Jared. You
is
go to
Florida man
Florida and you
stuff.
become a Florida man.
It's James like we're trying to overcorrect society for things that would have previously been solved by internal resilience. 100%. Yeah,
Dude.
yeah, hundred.
James and I wanted to start a resilience podcast just to
Ooh,
explain what the concept of resilience is to people.
yeah.
I feel like people just forget like literally what mental, physical, emotional
Talk about it.
resilience looks like.
Talk about it. What do you see resilience as?
So I see resilience as like, one of the best things that happened to me and James as a kid is my dad would make me do grueling chores. Like
Yeah, yeah.
if I mess something up, he
Hey,
would be
what's up,
like,
Art?
and he would hand me a toothbrush and he'd say, "Look at the molding. All right, clean it." And I'd be like,
Hell
"Oh,"
yeah.
and it would just be like, and it'd be like a Friday, and it would be like,
Yeah, yeah,
he's like, "You've got till Monday, so whenever you choose to do it." And we'd have to. But the point was, is like you had to do it if you wanted to eat, and also we lived a really great life. So my dad was both like treating us like you fucked up and you want to like or you want to have this nice life, you have to be here and work.
yeah,
And like you had two choices. You could either suck it up or you can complain. And I know we always talked about this, and being resilient is just like just we dealt with the reality, which is we had to scrub, and so we just laughed and made jokes, and we tried to
yes,
scrub, and we tried to scrub quicker, and
yeah,
then we get to go eat dinner and play, and it was like you just learn that you can complain or you could just double down and get to the goal faster and just take in the pain and get past it. Like don't complaining is just very useless. It's much better to just solve your current circumstance. How can you get out of your current circumstance to get to a
yeah.
better one? And that's what I think resilience is. It's just don't complain, think about what are solutions to my problem rather than complaints to my problem.
And also, one thing that you probably learned, you and your brothers, is honor culture. Because once you like in a group setting learn resilience in the way that you're talking about it, you learn how to communicate and how to like hold yourself accountable for
Totally.
others, and you also learn like the code of like of working and ethics and like brotherhood and these things like that's why it is good for kids to play sports because you learn like how to like be with other people working and be productive. Yeah, if do you think that's what's missing right now in society? Do you think?
I think resilience is a big part of it. I think part of what we're really, and I think this is something you and I have bonded over, is like we constantly as humans are trying to avoid suffering, but the reality is like not suffering is making us suffer. Like we need
Yeah,
physical and mental and genuine hardship in order to appreciate life and to be able to look
yeah,
at the small moments and go, I'm here, I'm sitting with my friends and we get to eat something tasty and listen to nice music. Like this is nice, right? Like, and people who go through real hardship get to appreciate small moments more. And
yeah,
I think the fact that you can get food delivered instantly, watch any form of entertainment, any sort of sexual gratification you want, any X, Y, and Z, you appreciate things less and less. And then that's why people get more and more depressed. But like actual hardship, like there's a reason there's no suicide in Africa. They have real problems to deal with.
yeah.
You
I
know
don't
what
know
I
if there's
mean?
none, but I get what you're
No,
saying.
but the suicide. Look at the
Yeah,
suicide rates in Africa. There are 10 times less than Western. 10 times, and it's like
I believe it.
there's a reason for that. It's like
Did you hear about the North Korean defector who they as soon as they went over to South Korea, uh, they and they were like college age, so they went to the university there. They got so depressed from the deadlines and then the culture there that for the first time in their entire and they lived in North Korea, the first time in their entire life, they were depressed and wanted to kill themselves,
hmm,
and they like left what to them was hell and they go to this rich society and all of a sudden they're depressed and now they like advocate for mental health and all that but it was really surprising to hear that and well it's not surprising, it's one of those things you hear and you understand but it's new fully and you just like that that's so fascinating. Key example, a lot of immigrants love the US but spoiled Brooklyners complain constantly about The Essett is from 5,000 apartment wearing their AirPods. Dude, yeah, James. So yeah. I lived. You and Jack are in the. You're in the thick of it when it comes to the spoiled. Brooklyn is one of the most spoiled areas I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's what's nice about the area I live in is like it's a lot of immigrants and like
Yeah,
people in their 30s and 40s with kids. So people are just like worried about their families and stuff and that's like I don't really interact with the part of Brooklyn that's like
yeah.
really spoiled,
The
thankfully.
trash. You're like, I don't really talk to the trash.
Well, I just don't like you know me. I don't like complainers. I don't like
I know.
the.
Yeah,
It's just it's gross to me. You know how many friends I'd
yeah,
have who would like spend $2,000 on bottle service and then not complain about not making enough money, and I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, there's one thing about like city living that, and it doesn't need to be everyone. Obviously, you guys are crushing, but like, there's a inkling for a lot of people without like a good foundation to be very ingrateful, because there's this when you're out in like the middle of nowhere and you see a person for the first time, you're like, what? Oh, like a person, there's a different mentality. Whereas you're inundated with people all day, I think you start to like be like, oh my god. Is that, for example, tap water is sometimes cut without consent at night. Lights are the same. We have a huge shortage in wheat and corn. Yeah, Reed lives in like a real place with like real problems. Um,
What part of the
yeah,
world?
he's in Tunisia.
Oh shit, that
Yeah,
is that is a real place. That is
yeah,
Tunisia.
it's a real
Tunisia's
place.
serious.
Yeah, go get that dev job, Reed. By the way, also, did you already
Yeah.
do the interview? But yeah, the it's it's interesting. Like we live in this accountability. If you just sell accountability right now, like if you're scheming some sort of influence business like Jocko and you sell accountability, you're kind of selling gold to people. Like that's like something that a lot of people really are missing. Oh, it's next week.
Nice. But no, you're right. I think accountability. It's like just being no, the reality is we used to have communities and people that would hold us accountable to like our actions more regularly. Like we used to live with our family more, but we become so isolated that we need to be held accountable to our actions, and there needs to be new mechanisms for holding people accountable because
Yeah.
the ones that used to be around, they don't work anymore. We need a new system for accountability. 100%.
Well, yeah. I don't know if people should actually sell it though, because that's the thing is that
No, I
it
don't.
should just be a community. Yeah.
No, I don't think they should sell it. My point is like we need to figure out how to reintroduce accountability to society. I would really
100%.
not like it to be through a course. We don't need more courses.
We
Like
don't need more
all
courses. Yeah.
the problem is, I mean, look at what happened. What's happened with Ozempic? Do you know what Ozempic is? The
Oh my
the
god.
the diabetes pill, and it's like
Yeah.
the reason we're doing that is because no one can be held accountable to not eat. They have to take a chemical. They have to they have to ingest chemical poison in order to not eat, rather than just not eat.
Yeah.
All that Ozempic does is
Well,
make you not want to eat, and people are like, "I need this medication." How about you don't fucking eat? What are you talking about? And we
yeah.
don't even know what the long term side effects are of it yet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it blows my mind.
Well, that's one thing, and I was talking about this on some other stream where I think a lot of, and this is for you can take this for any addiction. I'm just gonna, by the way, I'm not an expert on this, but it's something that I look at with addictions where I think a lot of addictions are downstream from worship. So it's
Mm,
like if you think about it, it's like what do you do when you go eat? It's like a lot of people when they before they eat they have a ritual where it's like I need to have a show on. I need to be in my car at this time and like everything needs to be perfect. And when you have rituals around something like food, yeah, you're probably going to be fat, you know? And it's like if you have rituals around exercise where it's like I need to have the perfect song on before I crush my lift and get my PR. That's more of a healthy like form of worship, and I think like it's super natural for us to draw our attention to things that are really low, like like
mm.
sloth and food, when we don't have like a greater purpose, or we're not like today I got to be great. You know, it's like if you don't have that in your head, you're just gonna be like today I need to like eat and f and
Yeah,
like that's it. Like it's just all your innate like primal things. It's your instinct. You're it.
totally. No, that's I mean that's another thing that we've always bonded over and talking about. It's like how do you create healthy rituals in your life? Like
Yeah.
I know you and I approach faith in very different ways, but we both realize the importance of faith. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a religious faith believer, but I believe deeply in like the ability to self-motivate and also like participate in rituals and beliefs and ethics that are good for you and the people around you. And it's
Yeah.
like you can do that in many different ways. And to your point, like you can create faith and rituals and get like genuine mental highs and stimulation from exercise and like
Yeah.
focus and like working on stuff that you like and care about. And or you can get it through crack and
Yeah.
Twinkies.
Yeah. And then you'll die young. And
Yes.
it's crazy because it's like I think a lot of your life. I really like Carl, and I've been talking about Carl Jung recently this past week because I find his idea of individuation so fascinating, where like you so much of your life development is supernatural. It's like it's very physical, where it's like literally you're like expanding your personality and your ego and all this by the time you're 30 or 40ish, and then after that you're in this kind of self-reflective phase, and that's the non-physical part. And I think whenever I see like there's depression rates, mental health issues, and all this, I'm like, it's just a personality issue. It's an issue with pretty much. I think our egos are super damaged as we get like thrust into society because we don't have like a foundation that's like, no, this is my life purpose and it's simple and I have to do it every day because that's where you like actually grow into the man you need to be, in my opinion. Also, we need to accept the fact that 80% of life will suck, especially if you're a man. And we need to try to appreciate this 20%. Yeah. Appreciate the suck. Brian Johnson is. What do you think about Brian Johnson, Jack?
I don't really. I think he's more self-aware than I realized.
He is
Like
self-aware.
he like kind of engages in bits and stuff, and like he leans into the fact that what he's doing is crazy, which is neat. And he's
Yeah,
also not really hurting anyone. He's just choosing to spend his own resources very bizarrely and documenting it. But like
yeah,
nothing he's doing is unhealthy. He's like not drinking, he's eating kiwis and he's working out a lot. And he's like looks kind of creepy. But like I got to be honest, like he's not objectively doing anything harmful to himself or anyone else. So like
yeah,
when I see what people are doing, like what do you think about him? I'm like he's not hurting anyone. Nothing he's doing is hurtful. So I like there's a lot of what our politicians, our influencers, our celebrities do is negatively impacting society. I haven't seen anything yet that's like really hurting anyone, so I don't have a
yeah,
strong opinion.
yeah. I mean, I don't have a strong opinion, and he actually has a posture video that I think is really good because posture in modern day with like desk jobs is like an epidemic. You have like bad posture that can destroy your health. But he's super weird. You're right
Yes.
though. He's so self-aware that I kind of respect that he's like. But part of me is like, it's the whole like worship thing. It's like if you worship, you're like maybe I won't. No, it is purely because it's his brand. You're like living forever. I think that's probably not good for the long term. That's my like knee
I
jerk reaction.
I agree. I think it's an obsession and it's almost like an obsession with like the fear of dying to a degree. And let me also
Yeah,
say that
yeah,
like
yeah,
he's also not I would not if something horrible came out about him, like he's like injecting he's like had 9 children and they're in a basement somewhere, like that
yeah,
would not surprise me. But I'm also
yeah,
I live in the American judicial system, so like no evidence has been presented, so he's all good in my book so far.
yeah.
Present the
Like
evidence, my opinion can be changed.
I like the way you put that. Yeah.
You know what
No,
I mean?
it's like yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if like he's a serial killer, but yeah, no, it's cool. He's a cool guy.
Not hurting anyone publicly. He's really good at killing people. If he's killing people, he's crushing it so far.
he has dead eyes, and that freaks me out. But like, other than that, He does have dead eyes though. But like you know
You
what?
don't say. He looks like a lizard person. He's not a real human being. He's part like, cryptid.
I part of me's like, the thing that I don't like is I've like really had a huge respect for random people I met throughout my life that they just really seamlessly led into age, where like I can tell they just like are so grateful for their life, and they age gracefully, and like I have such a respect for that. That when I see someone like Brian Johnson, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to be the guy wearing like skin tight, like like weird mesh outfits when I'm like 45. That's not.
Dude.
I don't know what that's about.
Dude, you got to be my parents. Talk about age gracefully.
Oh yeah, yeah. I met your dad over Zoom once, and I was like, wait, that dude's looks very
Dude,
healthy.
he has abs still. He's 61 years
That's
old and he has a
crazy.
six pack.
It's crazy.
It's an inspiration. Dude, my 80 I had a birthday with my 88-year-old grandfather. It was his birthday yesterday. Dude, the man shot an 82 in golf in the morning. Do you know that an 82 is good? Like
That's
for
very
just
good.
it's good for any level of golfer, let alone an
Okay,
88-year-old man. He's learning
nice.
Spanish. He's planning a trip to Scandinavia. The guy plays bridge every couple days. He's
Yeah,
amazing with technology. Like he is the best my friend was over and he was watching. He was showing my friend like photos from our trip to France this summer. My friend was like, he didn't have one technological problem the entire time. He was like,
yeah.
now I must go to the Photos app. It's over here. He's like so logical and linear. If you show him anything, like he's my favorite old person to deal with because he's like, I don't know how to do this on my computer. And I go over and show him. He's like, okay, I've memorized that now. I will repeat
Yeah.
those steps every time that I have encounter this problem ever again. He's an
That's awesome.
inspiration. He's the best.
Yeah, I just I love those older dudes where it's like you just tell they're just like every day they're just grateful because that's really like, and you learn that through that resilience you're talking about, like especially like if you have a job you hate or if you're just like in a time in your life where it's like there's only one good part of your day, like that type of thing. Savoring that 5 minutes before you go to work will humble the f out of you, and it's like when you have that, then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, like it's let's go fishing or let's go
Yeah,
hunting, let's crush, and
dude,
it's
we
like
have these opportunities. You know what I mean? Like we
yeah,
can let's go enjoy it. Right. Tomorrow I'm getting up at 6 in the morning to go fishing. I'm pumped. We're gonna
yeah.
on a Saturday morning go fishing out into the Everglades, the mangroves.
But also, we're both younger brothers, so we have that that's part of the mentality of younger brother. Everything's great.
Yeah, that's true. That is the
It's
younger brother
like there's
mentality.
no older brother that's like that. That's not like a because like our older brothers were like making sure we didn't die every day and being
Totally.
blamed for it.
That is
And so
that is
it's like
very true.
I'm grateful that I don't have that mentality.
But dude, all that you can hope for at the end of the day is like be grateful and continue learning. That's all. That's the
I
most
guess.
amazing, dude. That's the most amazing thing about this guy. The guy's 88 and he's like,
Yeah,
he's like, I'm just gonna keep getting better at everything. He's like, I'm gonna.
yeah.
He didn't always like invite us to dinner, but socially he's like inviting us to dinner more. He's like cooking things for
That's
us. Like,
awesome.
he's like really trying because he noticed that you know he didn't do that stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
no. How many old people do you know that are like genuinely changing fundamental characteristics about themselves in their late 80s?
That's awesome.
You can always get better. It's really awesome to watch.
I'm like I feel like there's like ah man, I really wish like people like there's more people like that. Just because like I feel like it'd be so simple for especially when we're talking about young men and all this. Like if you see the good path, your life just changes. And I was thinking about I've been having a very reflective week on my streams, and I've been like thinking it's like so if you just see a certain path that's good, your whole entire life just changes completely.
I mean, you started so talk to me, buddy, because you started this podcast in a little bit of a downer state. So is your reflective state like a little
No,
bit
no,
like
no, no. That was a
pessimistic?
joke. That was a joke. I'm
All
not.
right,
No, I'm not pessimistic. No, it's not at all pessimistic. Actually, I'm just. It's. I'm in a
I'm giving you a hard
very.
time.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I'm in a very interesting time. Like I feel like, and it's just like I feel like I'm out of the ringer of a certain transition, and it's interesting.
You're
And
you're
yeah,
in a
yeah,
new chapter. Isn't that
new
interesting?
chapter. Yeah, yeah.
I know. It's exciting though.
It's exciting.
Like
Yeah,
you're taking. I think what you have to stop and reflect over is like, what's so exciting is you're doing a lot of new things, but you're putting a lot of effort into those new things.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're trying to get better. You're trying to stream, do more interesting streams, work on
yeah,
thumbnails. Generate better content. Like that's cool. It's you're growing.
yeah. Oh, see O Mason of New Reno. Um, yeah, like I feel like I had like a this past year, I needed a full like shift in terms of positioning, which we talk about a lot. Where I was just like, I'm at a unique position where I can get a feeling that I can push things a little further. It's like in what I do, and I need to just fully go all in at it and
Mm.
make sacrifices to do it. How frequent do you guys ask existential questions about the creator or purpose, how human are wired? Um,
Constantly.
yeah, a lot, a lot.
I have an existential crisis almost every day, in
What
a
was your
different way.
what was the one today?
It was less existential, but I'd say my existential crises are more like time periods. Like in this time
Interesting.
period, I'm concerned with X. This time
Yeah,
period,
yeah,
I'm concerned with Y. So I'd say this time period, I'm concerned with like how much how much am I actually trying, and being really like realizing that I have a limited amount of time in my 20s.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm having this thought of like I'm now in my I've entered the back half of my 20s.
yeah.
30 is now an acceptable time to have children. I've got a handful of years left. And like how hard am I actually trying in this
That's so
period?
funny. I had a
That's
similar. That was the beginning of my whole like journey
I'm
this year. I had
I
a
was
similar
having I'm
thing.
having that thought of like how hard am I actually trying, because I want like I need money, resources, like to be able to like build a family in the
I'm not.
foreseeable future.
I'm not gonna like give you because like we're both kind of in this same phase now, so I'm obviously not gonna like give you advice on it. But I will say, well, something that's been helping me a ton in this like because that 25 to 30 time is super like it's crazy. Like because
Yeah.
I think it's like the boys to men time, and I think something that's been I've been dealing with is like in a positive way is like fully accept embracing like living a simple life and just in going all and fully committing to that simplicity. It's like honing in on something super simple. It's like because as soon as you start thinking a ton and making things complex and like making, it's like it, that's what I'm doing. It's like Jared the coder, right? It's like I'll just code. It's not even complicated. It's like you don't have to overthink too much. Not that you do or anyone does, but it's just something that I've learned. I know I do, and I've been like, you know what? I just gotta like simplify it, and then the world opens up when you know what to do every day.
Yeah, you're just applying effort. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, true, true.
at the end of the day, you're just trying. And I think we get caught up in it's as long as you're trying, I think you're going to be okay. That's what I that's kind of what
Yeah,
my existential crisis is right now, is like how hard am I actually trying? It doesn't necessarily matter what you're
yeah,
trying at. It's we have, as humans, we have a propensity to follow what our calling is, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like the stuff we're innately tuned to do. And as long as you're not ignoring that stuff, like this podcast feels like for me something that I feel like I'm supposed to do. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Me
And
too. Yeah,
to not be avoiding it and like sitting down and recording and having these like doing this every week. It's like it's not about views or anything. It's about the process of like Jared and I have been talking. You and I have been talking about Schemeology now for 2 years, and we don't have nearly enough episodes under our belt. So it's time to
yeah.
really sit down and focus and do this. You know what I mean?
And like once, and this is another thing. It's like once you start committing, there's a moment where and I think this is especially like once you start like hitting like your stride, like in that time that we're in, is that you're gonna like seem a little crazy because there's moments where I'm like, am I streaming too much? And then in that moment, I just streamed more.
Yeah, and dude, I'm also like, for me, I'm talking and I'm noticing parts about how I talk. Like I use a lot of hyperbole. Like I go down with weird tangents and rabbit holes. I tell stories that go on for too long. But you're paying
Yeah,
it. I'm noticing about how do I communicate, and it's
yeah,
not that I'm bad, but it's just that I'm acutely aware of like how I am communicating, and I haven't figured out. Like I'm still growing and getting better at this and
yeah,
figuring out what my style is and like how I actually want to communicate better to the audience. And it's like it's really a process of learning, even if there's you're not getting thousands or millions or whatever
yeah.
views. It's just like you're doing it for yourself and you're trying to get better the entire time. It's a cool process. It really is.
You're we're scheming the scheme of the podcast right now on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
We're self-referentially scheming. Simple schemes. Why would he still us with endless? Oh yeah, that's interesting. I've been pissed today at life because I feel stuck at 32. Um,
Well, let's talk through that maybe. I mean,
yeah,
what
like,
why?
yeah. What's going on?
Yeah.
Stack money
Money.
then. Yeah, money's not gonna help that. I'll promise you that.
I
That's just
mean,
gonna make it so you're gonna realize that after you're rich and fat. Like that.
yeah.
I've seen that time and time again. It's like you don't deal with you deal with these problems with money. Once that resource fear goes away, you're just gonna be slower and older.
But let's yeah, man. But if I genuinely listen, I know what it feels like to be stuck, but I obviously don't know what you're going through. If if there's reasons why you feel stuck at 32, maybe we can talk about what you can do or tactics you can
Yeah,
try, things you can explore.
yeah. Let's. I feel like that's yeah. If anyone has that, like talk about it. This is
Like
exactly the place. Where's she gonna talk about it?
yeah, I mean that's because of the point. It's like I think it's so much of Jared and I's trick to life is just like we talk about whatever we're thinking and going through, and we
Yeah.
able to come up with solutions, have new perspectives.
Did you actually lose 100K in
You want
scheme?
to talk about losing money, buddy? Because I have lost so much money, I don't even want to talk about it. But hey, this is, again, you're in the right place. We can talk about losing money. I have lost literally millions of dollars. You are in
Yeah,
a safe space.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing: some people haven't even like had that much to lose, or they haven't went out on a limb to lose anything. Like some people don't lose anything their whole lives. You know, it's like think about that. Like they haven't lost anything because they haven't tried and went out on a limb. How many
Totally.
people have you tried more than? Don't think about what you have, or
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, but
I just,
that's how I think.
here's how I think of RC, if it's any consolation. So, my general path is I was very early to crypto. I worked at the first game in crypto for a little bit. And before the age of 20, had made multiple millions of dollars in crypto. Over the next couple, I dropped out of college, moved to Serbia, was working at this crypto. It ended up failing. I had to pay enormous amounts of taxes. Crypto went into the gutter, and I was college degreeless and couldn't get a job back in crypto. All these crypto companies had failed, so I had to go back on the grind and find a new path for myself. And even if you don't have the exact same amount of money, I have more resources, I have new experience, I have more wisdom. I met people like Jared along the way. So, like, money is just one litmus test for how well you're doing in life. Experience and knowledge and resources and wisdom is another way of looking at life. Perspective's another because it's really easy to get lucky. It's really hard to be disciplined and to
Yeah,
like and to like
100%.
and to take your wins when you have them and not get greedy, which is my problem. So, it's
Yeah,
sometimes just a perspective.
yeah. Like you got wiser and stronger, and you became a man. Like you know, it's like that'll change everything. Oh yeah, you're in Philly. Yeah, get out of Philly. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know where you are in Philly, but if you can, uh, it's. I mean, do what you want, but like, it's not gonna get better when it comes to the whole drug thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
Philly's a rough spot.
Pick Miami. Well, I don't know
Oh
if
boy. I
Miami's not gonna like help your situation. It, but like, I would say like you can. It doesn't matter where you are, gutter area, Philly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like the whole like because you want to be surrounded by hustlers mindset and less beggars. I think a lot of that is like you know how like Jack like sometimes when we'll talk we'll just keep escalating and like in a good way that's like
Mm-hmm.
awesome and hilarious. The way I like vet people that in my life is a lot like that. It's like I'll be talking to them and I'll be like, is this person like escalating in a good way with me? And like, are they like adding constantly? And it's like, it's the people don't do that and they get negative. It's like
It's
you
the
can be
yes
friends
and
with them, but
dude, it's that stupid concept of yes and. Like
yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah,
stupid.
yeah,
It's like I want yes and people. They're actually right. That is what you do want.
yeah.
You do
Yeah,
actually
it's
want those
true.
people, you know, where they're
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
hey, you've got a point and let's expand on it. Like, that's why, I mentor a lot of people and I get texts all the time. Some guy texted me the other day and was like, hey, uh, like, be honest with me how you think about my idea. And I'm like, I'm never going to tell you your idea is like completely shitty because, like, do you know how many people I know who've made millions with the worst ideas I've ever heard? Like
Yeah,
I don't know what I like at the end of the day, like people's sheer willpower and cleverness can get them really far even with bad ideas. So
yeah.
I'd rather just ask questions and then if people really want my opinion, they can ask specific questions about what I specifically think about certain things. You know what I mean? But it's
I
like
see what you're saying.
but like they can be like, "Well, what do you think about my distribution?" I could be like, "I'd be really worried about that." You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, here's why. And then I won't shit on it, but I'll go, here's why what I might be concerned about. But if you can solve X, Y, or Z, or you find a marketing channel that works, like you can blow me out of the water. And then people come back to me and they're like, okay, I failed, but like, thanks for not telling me not to do it because I
yeah.
made 50 grand and I learned something. You know what I mean? Like,
Because like there's a time for yeah, winter's coming. Oh, DJ, uh, go damn! You got to find a way to get back or run it back up ASAP. Yeah, but like the winter mentality, because there's a time for winter and there's a time for summer. There's a time for winter, there's a time for spring. I guess is more so the way to talk about it. And sometimes you do want those people around you that are more reserved and all that. But when you want to get out of a hole, if you're not a crusher, if you're not someone who's like constantly escalating and like finding that positive, finding that road and path, you better find people around that are like that. 100%.
yeah, that's, and,
100%.
and it's funny, I've thought about like, what's my value to a team? I'm the hype man.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm like. Well, everyone else is bummed out. I'm like, guys, what the fuck are we being bummed about? We've got
yeah.
four assassins sitting around the table. Yeah, we lost all our money,
Yeah,
but let's go, forage and find
yeah,
resources
yeah,
and
yeah.
build it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like let's do it.
Yeah.
Like if you like, and that mentality will like save your life because like a lot of like I feel like the if you have nothing and you negative overdrawn in your bank account, some and you're in that situation. Not saying I'm just saying talk through the idea. I don't know if anyone's in that, but if you're in a situation like that, sometimes the best thing you can do is to stand super proud and act like you're like not even lie, just like act super strong. Like don't wear that. Don't wear like a loss on you. It's kind of like in sports. It's like you stand super tall when you lose. Like it's a mentality shift.
Dude, it's like, it's the whole, I mean, the big thing I always feel is like, one of the reasons I'm vulnerable, I tell people my problems, is then those problems can't hurt me. People are, what are they gonna
Yeah,
make?
yeah,
You're gonna make fun of me for the thing I just told you in detail about?
yeah,
Yeah, I know,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah,
Get in line. I beat myself up
yeah,
way
yeah,
harder than you ever could beat me up. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
and it's like I think that's the power of just admitting it. Like, yeah, I've lost
yeah,
money and I'm a fucking idiot and I get greedy. What do you want from me? Let's make
yeah,
another bag. Like, what are we doing now? Okay.
yeah, yeah,
And I have rules now. I've got friends. I've got a friend. We have an agreement. I say, if I cross X threshold of money again, and I tell him all my money updates, I said, you buy a plane ticket, you come to me. And if I don't sell, kick me in the nuts and then force me to sell,
I
and
like that.
I owe you 10% of my return.
I
However
like that.
much I make when that's my rule. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll pay you to kick my ass for me.
yeah,
That's my
yeah, yeah.
agreement. And we shook on it. And that's the rule.
I like that. It's accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also like having that group. Like you need to have a group. you need to have like a clan where people like aren't like. I saw this today on Twitter. I forgot who said this, but it's like people that like are that will like be super blunt and bully mean to your face, but they'll be super but they'll be super nice to you like behind your back. You want but typically people surround themselves with people that are super nice to them to their face, but they stand behind their back. You want the opposite of that. I kind of did terrible with that. What is a good income goal daily? Depends on your life.
Yeah, it also depends on, what you're working at. Because it's like I think just focusing on money is one strategy, but are you focusing on like, Jared and I might not be making as much money right now, but we're investing in something in different
Yeah, yeah,
ways. So if you're investing in other ways, sometimes you can invest in reputation, sometimes you can invest in network, sometimes you invest in just making more and more money, but like I guess how much is your expenses is that like, you know,
you have dependents.
yeah.
Like I would say, it depends on your life. I mean, if you're a single guy, there's a good chance you can probably just keep living within your means more without having to worry about that. If that's a lot of monthly expenses.
That seems like a
Um,
lot. What part of what part of the country do you live?
he's in Philly.
Philly?
Um,
Hmm.
that's a lot for Philly. I don't know. You don't have to say your life, but yeah, like I would say,
I live in New York City. I spend less than that.
yeah, it's a ton.
And I live in a $2,100 apartment.
Could you have that? Like,
I mean,
think
I
of
don't know
it.
about
Think
half, but
through.
like what start at 5K?
Yeah, yeah,
What's rent in Philly? $1,200, $1,500,
yeah, yeah,
what's
yeah.
$2,000 a month in rent? What is the
I've
other 5K in expenses?
I've spent like 5,500 for a room once. I know friends that had pretty nice apartments that
Oh,
credit card debt.
ah,
Yeah, yeah,
that'll do it.
yeah. Yeah, and then condo fees. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Oh, for the Airbnbs, I see.
yeah, that's a lot.
I
You,
would take on less debt to start businesses, and it seems like you had a couple risks going at once, which is great to take risk. But I like to have one or two. I don't like to have expense risks. I like to have investment risks, but for me, I don't like to take out loans to start businesses unless I could pay back all the loan. Oh, I see.
yeah,
Nah, these things,
that'll do it.
all these ex-wife, that these problems stack. Hey, man,
Yeah, girls
that's
are
a
expensive. Yeah,
sure are. They
yeah.
sure are.
When you're scheming, when you're on your schemer journey, probably best to not. I don't know. I'm not going to give anyone advice. I'm not going to give anyone advice. This
No.
includes investments or Roth. Yeah, RC, go. You gotta simplify all of that.
Yeah.
Um, I'll tell you it here. You gotta simplify that. Yeah,
Yeah. Cut
it,
costs, focus on things you're good at. Don't take on too much debt. Avoid debt like the plague. That's my number one opinion for everyone. Dude, my brother lives in a building in New York City. This is crazy, Jared. My brother lives in his doorman has been working at the building for 40 years. He's about to retire. Hasn't looked at his retirement account. He comes up to my brother because he knows my brother's smart and they built a relationship over the years. And he goes, "Hey man, so I finally checked my retirement account and there's over $1.5 million in there and I don't know how." And this guy,
how old is
he's
he?
like 60s or 70s as a doorman in New York City.
When's the last time he checked it?
He's never checked it. He's
Oh,
like
that's why.
he's like I don't know how there's he's like I don't know what it's invested in. I don't know
Because
what
he's
there's what,
60.
well exactly that's I know how
Yeah,
funny and but no but even my dad's like I wonder what like when was this account like what are the legit because he's never opened the
yeah,
account like what was it invested in like how did
yeah.
it is an interesting circumstance so like, we don't
Yo,
know what the deal is whether his like maybe his wife did something years ago and forgot or
please tell him not to tell other people that. That's the first thing. Tell the
I
doorman to
know.
never tell anyone
Yes.
that.
Well, he whispered it to my brother. I think my brother
Okay.
was like, "Man, just keep this locked down." He's like,
Yeah, yeah,
I can give you a couple phone calls just to people to tell you, like, give you recommendations.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like,
one thing
But
about money is it's art of war. It's like appear poor, always appear poor. Is the
yes,
American reads like RC. So this is the American dream that they talked about. Yeah, well, the reality of that read is what he's going through is because
yes,
he had the freedom to fail like that. You know what I mean? Like, and he also has the freedom to bounce back. So like that's a beautiful thing about America is that like you can that situation sucks. Uh, DJ Pressure. No, the American dream is having lots of money and women. Uh, yeah, yeah. Well, let's see. We saw where that ended up.
yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, that, this is the nightmare. I used to live in New York City around finance bros. Um, that's probably why you're scheming this hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I got
you're
to be honest. The finance bros are some of the most in depth bros that I know. They make a lot of
yeah,
money, but they just spend a ton of money, and so they never save anything. They're caught up in a lifestyle. Don't get caught
yeah.
up in lifestyles. That's all I can recommend to people.
And with the girl thing and the relationship thing,
Models and bottles is a terrible lifestyle. Let me also just say that. That will
the
that ugh, bad.
it's very easy for because a lot of young men like if you're under 30, 35, typically there's this like rush to I think there's a rush to solidify and like and get the girl in the house and marriage, and I think that really I mean I see it a ton post college. That pressure, which is made up and it's fully like in your head, like you don't ever need to be pressured about, in my opinion, about settling down.
Yes.
That pressure will lead to crazy lifestyle changes so you can have access to girls and things like that. And when the reality is you shouldn't be around models and bottles if you're spending any money. If they're spending money on you, that's a different story. If they're hey, maybe they're celebrating something you did and someone else putting their money down. But if that's a lifestyle thing to has anything to do with your status, that's gonna you think it's gonna secure anything when it comes to girls or
Never pay for
whatever.
status.
A hunch, yeah,
Status comes from you being certified.
one
That's
hundred
all.
percent.
That's and certification comes from you being confident in loving yourself. It doesn't come
Yeah,
from external stimuli.
that's a really good way of putting it. Switch to 0% state tax. Eat once a day, live a mindset, dude. Reed's mentality. I'm all about it. Yeah, dude. Just like that, dude. That's the living in like a impoverished country will do to you. You just like know about life.
Scheme. You scheme. Think
Yeah,
about what the immigrants do. The immigrant scheme to America is like, wait, you're telling me people won't take money from me and kill my children? And I
yeah,
can start whatever business I want. Okay, I'm starting 15
yeah,
Dunkin' Donuts tomorrow. Like, you
yeah,
know what I mean? And I'm working 80 hours a week. Do you know how many immigrants I know who came from places where they were limited with from freedom perspective, and they came to America and were like, "Dude, I could do whatever I want and no one will
yeah,
bother me."
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. There's like there's this whole like oh no uh uh, oh, you know what the biggest mentality issue is with like our generation is this anti-ownership mentality.
hmm.
The fully renting, not starting businesses mentality, and it's fully anti-immigrant or anti that mentality that the immigrant has. Because the immigrant comes and they're like, oh, I can start a business, and then you have these 18-year-old college kids that are like, oh, like owning a business is I don't want to be the man.
No,
It's
they don't
like
want any. They have no skin in the game. They don't have any equity. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
literal equity over everything in life. You don't own a home. You don't have part of a business. You're
right.
not in charge of anything. You're not responsible for everything. Put food down my mouth and tell me what to watch. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna listen to whatever daddy tells me to do. It's like, how about you be an adult? Like,
yeah.
you know,
And
own something.
also, when you own stuff, you learn about the game. You learn about
That's
the
right.
game, and you get to play it.
Dude, there's a lot of people right now who are they're not playing the game and they're wondering why they're losing. And it's like you're literally
Yeah,
not even participating. You're all you're doing is you're playing someone else's game. You're obsessed with social media. You're eating
Yeah.
fatty food. You don't work out. You have a shitty job. You don't have any skills. You're obsessed with sex or drugs or whatever. And you're like,
Yeah.
dude, why am I poor? And why does my life sucks? And it like, because you're playing no game.
Yeah.
You're getting gamed.
Yeah. And there's a dude, I have to sneeze and it's just like fucking pissing me off right now. I'm like, ah. But yeah. Oh dude, the own nothing oh
Ugh.
yeah. If you like have that, oh my god, if you don't want to play the game and you're mad, you're like the lowest of the low. You're the lowest of the low. Like the whole point is like you shouldn't be mad. Like the best guys are the dudes that they don't play the game. They just do super simple. They do their job and they're just like, yeah, like my life's great. And it's
Yes.
fine. It's like you don't have, but like if you're gonna like be resentful about a system and you're not gonna like do something, like that's not the resentment is kills your spirit over time.
And resenting because it's also like it removes yourself of all agency and accountability.
Yeah,
Like, what has
yeah,
your involvement in this system been? Did I mean, how many people do you know that like a decade ago decided to just give in and like
yeah.
never do
Oh,
and like you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like they never decided to like explore a job opportunity they actually cared about, put themselves on the line, try and fail publicly and whatever. And now they're
yeah,
like, I'm just dude, I hate my job, I hate my life, I don't ever have any real hobbies. And it's like you've never once
yeah,
tried and failed at anything.
yeah,
You've been skating by neutral, doing a lukewarm job at some shitty company that you didn't even like, but you're overqualified for, and now you hate it. And it's like,
I'm gonna
ugh.
and I feel like sometimes I'll say things and maybe it'll be a little reckless, but this is important, really, and it's to further a little bit what you're talking about. And Jack doesn't hold this view. This is my view, or I don't know, but this is my view on this. If you're especially like that 25 to 35, like make it or break it age range, and you're a single guy in a rut, and you have that like I'm a loser and I haven't put anything on the line, dude, quit whatever job you hate and make a do 6 months of like being poor as shit and work super hard at whatever you've been afraid to actually have some balls to do and just commit to it and like be super like low and like say no once in your crappy shitty life. Like if you say no, sorry, this is a halftime speech. I know sometimes I could talk like this to because sometimes people need a halftime speech. Okay, like because a lot of people and that might be like extreme, but it's like you have to say no. Like say no to your boss. Like if you like imagine like living your whole life not saying no, and then you wake up because you're gonna have to realize it around when you're like 50 or whatever, or when you're older. Like you're gonna have to like look back at your life and like
That you
reflect.
compromised everything that you felt and believed in for 50 years and never
Exactly.
lived your authentic self. Yeah, you're going to have to confront that. That's why you drink, you do drugs,
Yep.
you believe a stupid
Addictions.
religion, you become really into
100%.
politics because it's a different identity rather than who you really are. That's
Yeah.
my biggest problem with it.
Yeah.
Politics and identity politics and social media and celebrityism, that's an identity avoiding what you really want. You want to be a shark
100%.
fisherman. You want to be a fucking race car driver. You want to make wooden tables, and you've never tried because you didn't think you could do it, and you were scared to actually tell people what you really wanted to do because you were scared they would shit
Yeah.
on them. Shit
And
on you.
and you know like and this is gonna sound like super hokey and all that, but like this is how I think and all that. Like there's we all that Braveheart speech and all that. It's like we all get riled up before we watch other guys play a game in a sports event when we listen to that. But it's like, why are you getting riled up? It's like because that's real. That's like a real like you have moments like that in your life where you put everything on the line and you could lose everything and but you gotta like go for it because
Yeah.
you're gonna hate yourself.
Dude, I can't tell you how many people that I've met in my life who are offended by my existence just because I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
and that's and that's the reason they don't like it. And it's like you have to just put those people aside and feel bad for them and go do what you want to do. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Don't live for other people. 100%. It's like,
Exactly. I
yeah.
don't. Men wear other men's jerseys names on their
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
I love that, dude. Yeah, I don't wear any jerseys. I'm Jack,
yeah.
motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
the hero of this
Exactly.
story. I don't
Let's
care about these
go.
other people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm all I care about is what's my soundtrack to my life.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then the gym is so great for that too. Like just to bring it back to the like self-development thing cuz you get to like you're playing like you're practicing every single day to make it so you can be more prepared to just commit. Like
Yeah,
every time it's a ritual to get stronger at being the guy you need to be.
that's right. Doing something that's hard but good for you,
Yeah.
and there's not going to be any immediate benefit other than like the fact that you did it.
And it's like, oh, every day is the same. I don't like going to the warehouse. I don't like doing this. It's like, oh, da, da. I'll just go to the bar. Oh, there's that nice like girl who has a ton of tattoos and ran through. I'll just marry her, and then I'll hate my life, and then I'll pay child support. It's like you could say no at one point in the story.
But it
You could say
requires the
no.
persistence to actually follow through with something, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because that's the only
yeah.
threat. Is like if these people get off of their path, they actually have to follow through. And
Yeah.
I'll raise my hand and say I have terrible follow through. So that's I get it. But what about when
Well,
people say we are the same race and they guilt you into asking for money because they are broke and see me
oh,
winning?
are you black, RC? It sounds like you're because that's in the that's definitely in the black community. Uh, you mean you're in the same race? So you're talking racially? I guess I'm not sure.
Yeah, are you making a comment because this is something you had?
Yeah, no,
I've personally never experienced this, but I've lived a different truth than others, perhaps.
yeah, there is something where it's like people will guilt you. Yeah, I asked you two things. RC, I asked you one or the other. It's okay. But yeah, like you're like correct. But yeah, no, like the money race. Oh, okay. Okay. But like yeah, they're asking for money. Sometimes it is good to just oh, yeah, no, that's huge in the black brown community. Yeah. Um if someone sees you winning and they just want to like be like, "Oh, like where were you at the beginning?" Like it's like I never knew you. And
Yeah.
now I know you. Now you're showing up. You don't even have to say it. Like you could be very nice. And you could be but like you don't have to give anyone your energy like that. Or if you give, like just make sure you hold no resentment when you do it. If you do
Mm.
want to give to someone who's asking, but if you feel like you're gonna hold resentment, just be like, hey, like I know you now apparently when I have money. Like that's a yeah. Like I would say because people will do that. People will show up after you've won the race. Like it's
Yeah.
very like eye opening experience. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people know that. Yeah.
I mean, people do show up when you win the race, and you don't owe anyone
You don't owe anyone
anything.
anything.
That's why,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just trying to help the other people who are trying hard, and like
Yeah.
I'm generous when I see people trying hard, and I feel like being generous. You know, my
Yeah.
philosophy with giving in life is I give exactly what I'd like to give. Giving is what something I do. So if I buy something, I make a dinner for someone, I treat someone to a vacation or something, I'm doing that because I want them to experience that and it's for me. And I
Yeah.
don't ever think about no one ever convinces me to give them anything. I give because I want to.
Yeah.
So it sucks to deal with people who want you to give because they're manipulating into it, but
Yeah.
tell them to fuck off. I don't,
Yeah.
whatever culture that's a parent part of, I give people, and I prefer to give people opportunity rather than cash because it's like,
Yeah.
whatever, lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink,
Yeah. Yeah. If you like, that's why it's so good to like have a community and a network. Because like if you're just like if you always I always try to in tech I always try to have some engineer that I know I can give an opportunity to like in the back of my mind like I have that in the back of my mind like I as I'm like talking to engineers I know I'm like collecting names that I know that I can refer and I just actually referred someone Jack to to a thing. I don't know if you're aware of that, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like it's like once you do that, you're just gonna like you're gonna get something in return, and you're gonna keep it in your network, and it's not just cash. Cash just breeds snakes.
Dude, I'm
Snakes in
I'm
the
there.
grass.
The best thing you can be for people is there before they're famous.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
always my choice. Is like
all right,
I believe in people day one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's why I don't have. I have a couple friends staying with me in Florida right now, and they're out in the other room. And when I tell them I'm going to go record a podcast of 5 people on the internet, they're not like, "Oh, hey man, that's what losers do." They're like, "Fuck yeah, dude, crush it. What are you
yeah,
going to talk about?" You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we need supporters at the early stages. I don't give a fuck about the people who don't care about me now. I care about these homies who are like,
exactly.
you go do that podcast, Jack. You said you were going to do it. I don't care if there's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
person viewing it. I believe in you. I need those
yeah.
people around me.
It's the same thing with the yes and thing. It's like surround your people that just keep like yes and like they just keep escalating a little bit. And then I mean you need to check yourself and all that. But like
Yeah, of
so here
course.
now before you're famous. Yeah, thanks Kevin. Kevin's OG in the chat.
Are you kidding me? Of course. He's been here for the last 5 or 6 weeks running. We've been doing this
Yeah.
7 weeks. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
crazy. I
yeah,
appreciate it, Kevin. I recognize that. Same with you, Reed and DJ and all you guys. It's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, even this is like it's such a cool experience to be able to have conversations on the internet,
Yeah,
and
like
and talk to people.
yeah. Reed's in Tunisia. Which is
It's a,
crazy. Like I never met someone from Tunisia. Like
we've got
that's not
homies from India, we've got people from France, Florian,
yeah.
who's
Oh
probably
yeah.
asleep right now.
Florian, he finally joined the Discord, so hopefully, but there's a trick to that. There's so-called friends who, as long as you're at the same level as them, you're a good person. As soon as you're better, you'll be labeled as selfish. No, it's true. That's true too. There's people that'll be like close until you make your thing, and then they'll bite at you. It's like the Judas thing, where it's like they'll be the disciple, and then until like there's some advantage, and then they're close to you. There's that, but you do have to be able to vet like
Yeah,
someone's
dude,
who someone is.
I agree. I think this is on you. I've
Yeah.
let me say, I've had moments where I've made it, quote unquote. It's at least at my age. I've had these moments. I
Oh,
not
dude. Yeah.
so my point is saying is like, and everyone in my I have my identical twin was jazzed for me. My family was happy for me. My friends were supported and were happy for me. I don't have no one I was close with were jealous and shitty to me. And that's partly
Yeah.
because I put a lot of effort into making sure I had good people who were also all grinding and were all
Yeah.
accomplishing shit as well. I don't hang out with people who aren't growing. And like
Yeah.
and if you are hanging out with people who aren't growing, then they're going to be mad when you finally do grow. But I really try and spend time with people, and we all grow in different ways at different rates. But the
Yeah.
point is, I really don't have that many people in my life who've like changed on me because I acquired resources. Everyone in my life who has been like, "Fuck yeah, Jack, you're gonna get even more, brother." Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and if anyone's a dick to me, I don't even care. I don't take it personally. I go, "Oh, they're a bad person. I'm not gonna hang out with them anymore."
That's why in certain environments, it's super good to like, especially in like environments with a ton of like poor working class people. It's super good to be like, and this is something my parents taught me young. It's like kind of like let people just live their like craziness and be like, okay, that's fine. Like if someone's gonna offer you something, like be like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like try not to like engage like and be too like, oh yeah, you're my buddy with a ton of people around you, because unless you know how to vet people, because like someone's gonna be like poke, someone's gonna use you as your and don't, and wear protection in those situations, by the way, because
Yeah,
there'll be girls that'll uh
don't get taken
if someone
advantage
knows
of.
what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's a red flag for me. Yeah, I'm really talking about vetting street people. Yeah.
Yeah, of
uh,
course.
I'm on
I don't.
t-
I don't meet a lot of street people. I got to be honest. Everyone's meeting people off the street. I meet people. I meet people through circumstances. Like
yeah,
through Jared introductions at parties.
yeah,
At a conference. Well, people meeting
yeah.
people on the street. Let's meet people. Let's meet people in buildings. How about we meet people inside?
Yeah,
Try to meet less people in parks, Rice.
yeah.
That's my biggest advice.
Rice
Go
is
to
like
buildings.
Rice is like a. So I met this like guy. I met this guy at a
I was
park who was
under a
spending
bridge the
his.
other day and I met this home dog who's real cool. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
He's
it's
got
like
a really cool business selling pot brownies to middle schoolers. I think we're going to go far together. It's like,
$1,000. I think he's good for it. Yeah.
Brian Park. Oh, that's funny.
I mean,
Dude,
people,
there are so many schemers in Brian Park,
dude,
Reese.
stay away from Brian Park.
Yeah, get out of Midtown scheming. Oh my God.
I mean, of all the parks, it's not a bad one to scheme at. Central Park is like is a den of hell. Uh, I always remember I was on some date and this girl for 2 hours was talking to me about how her friend was murdered in Central Park like that summer, and I remember like being like, "What?" And I looked it up and it was all true. It kind
Yeah,
of
well, that's just a crazy freak out, and people don't get murdered in Central Park that regularly.
I guess. I also
No,
this
crime statistics in New York are the lowest they've ever been. I hate. Don't you dare fearmonger, Jared. I won't let you do this to me.
I will say, like this girl also, I think tried to put a hex on me. It's a long story. Anyway, usually it's the dealers who, yeah,
Block
dude,
drug
stop,
dealers. Block
please.
drug dealers. Stop texting drug dealers.
I don't never text a drug dealer about anything.
No. Oh,
That a rapper, drug dealer. That's not. They're not gonna try to like help you. That's not. Especially if they
no.
think you're in tech, dude. That's
No.
not. Yeah, yeah.
That's just bad news. Listen, there's plenty of drug dealers I think are great. I like them, but I don't. We don't hang out regularly, and I don't do business with them.
Yeah, you're in and out. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not like oh, you moved around a lot. But yeah, that I would say this, dude. Like, try to actually limit a lot of your. I feel like I get your vibe a little bit, RC. I feel like you need to limit your attention a little bit and like even limit your circle. It's like one, two really good buddies you know are just good dudes. You don't need anything more than that right now.
yeah.
Like,
And if you're gonna find new people, go to like places that with people. Go to a real estate conference or like a
yeah,
Airbnb host meetup or I don't like
being
literally.
being more. This is one thing that I like to do. It's like be in better rooms over time. Like per month, try to be in like better rooms with better people. You
Yes.
can't just do it all in one day, but maybe try 3 rooms, like a real estate conference, like 1 month, and then see if you tap into some networks there, and maybe you get into like 10 more events to go to the next month. Like try to like make it so you're just surrounded by better people more often.
Yeah.
That'll help a
I'm the
ton.
poorest person in the room a lot of the time.
That's good too.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, don't. Do you actually hang around vape shops and casinos? RC,
Please,
you have
please,
you have wild energy. Please stop that.
dude.
Jack talking about he's
Yeah,
associated.
you and I, you trust me. I am. I mean, listen, dude. I've done everything.
Don't say that publicly. People are gonna not like that.
No,
Or
whatever. My point is, like, I'm a young person in my 20s living in New York City. I mean,
yeah,
like, I'm not I'm not a crackhead, but it's like,
yeah.
I'm in New York City. Everyone's a drug dealer. I don't know if
Everyone
you've
is a
been to
drug dealer.
I don't know if you've been to New York. Literally, everyone in New York is a drug dealer.
You want to own a vape?
I also, by the way, I dropped out of college and moved to Belgrade, Serbia, and knew plenty of people doing high level distribution of
Dude,
different kind of
don't
products
say
in Serbia.
don't
What do
say
you
it on the
mean?
podcast, dude.
What do you mean? That's true.
No, I know. I'm just but
I didn't do business with them. I was in Serbia. What do you think people in Serbia do?
no, you gotta limit your attack vector. Okay, it's social engineering.
Why
Why
Serbia?
Serbia?
We had a dev team of 150 people in Serbia. So I dropped out of college and moved there.
Yeah, Yeah, self awareness is really good. Yeah, super. Be very logical. You want to
Totally.
own vape shops? I guess it's fine if you want to. I own vape shops. You act. I. That's the type of market where you don't need to be hanging out there to own one. Video's not delisted. That's not.
Yeah.
But it'll be delisted if we talk about politics and stuff like that.
Yeah. I can say that I've met a drug dealer before.
Yeah, because that's a part of the agenda.
It's also like, what American hasn't met a drug dealer? Everyone's
Yeah,
addicted to drugs in America. I mean, it's like I love how we like to pretend like no, well, like half America's addicted to alcohol or fentanyl or weed or opiates or it's like everyone's addicted. Come on.
no, yeah, everyone knows drug dealers, obviously. Yeah, yeah, there's like I always avoid drug dealers though. People
Of
that
course.
unless like it's like someone that it's just like their hobby. You know, I have some friends like that where it's like that they're not like super, but if someone, especially if they have like they carry heat, if this is something they're super serious about, if you catch what I'm saying, just don't be
Yeah.
around that energy a ton because think about it,
Totally.
you're dealing with, especially with opiates, you're dealing with people that that will hand like death to people a lot. Because it's like you don't want to be like around people like that a ton. Like that might rub off on
Yeah, you don't want to be. I mean, listen, it's like it's yeah. So people, if people are making all of their money off of drugs, they're committing a crime to make all their resources in life.
you.
Like
Yeah,
the more money they make, the bigger their crime becomes, and the more of a threat they are at going to jail. And you're closer and closer to someone who's committing a high level crime. So it's like it's just 101. Don't be involved with people doing crime. It's
yeah,
like
100%.
I
Yeah,
can't stress this enough. Don't.
and
Yeah,
yeah, hippie drug dealers are the only okay ones. Yeah, because they're just not like competitive enough to like
yeah,
get in
they're just
trouble.
trying to sell a good time. They just really like acid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't talk to them. Yeah, no, RC, what do you not understand? We're telling you stop talking to the drug dealer.
Yeah,
I think we're being pretty clear, right?
I think it's being incredibly clear.
He's like, so don't hang out with them to go to the July 4th party. No, uh,
No,
only getting high on pickle juice pre-workout. Yeah, oh, right. Yeah,
hell
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, drinking the streets, but I choose. Yeah, Reed chose another path. That's yeah. Choose. You can choose your path in this world. People will, especially people in crime, they'll try to make it seem like you have to like, and like pyramid scheme people will do this too. They make it seem like you have to be a part of their world. It's a narcissistic psychopathic trap where it's like they create a world and they make it like you have to be a part of the world. It's like you have to be a part of the gang. You have to be a part of. Oh, dude, if you don't do this drug, oh, dude, if you, it's like, no, like I'm telling you, get in better rooms over time. Like go to like a basic business networking event. Like it may seem fake, but like you'll meet better people probably. Um, I know somebody who bought a lifetime. Yeah, yeah, everyone knows that guy.
Of course.
Yeah,
Everything does have consequences. That's right,
everything
Reed.
does have consequences.
So you can surround yourself with people doing things that will have good consequences or bad consequences.
Yeah, and it's like knowing's just coming in out of nowhere. Advice for
Advice:
people. Oh
do
yeah, I guess we should
sales.
say it.
There's two ways to make money. You build things or you sell things. So if you're not planning on building things, get really good at selling things.
I want to be clear. The question is advice for people straight out of high school trying to make money.
Yeah, sorry, that's my bad. I just went right off the rip.
Which and you're saying get good at building things or selling things.
Those are the two options you have. If you
Yeah,
want
of
to make
course.
money,
Yeah, RC like trap or die.
God, scheme or die, scheme or die. Don't
Scheme or
trap,
die.
scheme or die.
Yeah, RC. Yeah, you're. This is your people.
We
Talk to those
believe in
people
you.
that are. Yeah, get a skill. Yeah, start owning things you're good at. Being super. Believe in yourself. Spend like. Try not to chase money as chase the ability to believe in yourself.
Totally.
And
Acquire
get
more
better.
resources and meet better people. Who you surround yourself with is everything.
100%.
You got
Yeah,
this,
I
dog.
think yeah, RC, you have like a really good. I can tell you got a good head on your shoulders. It's just you're in the wrong environment. Scheming
Totally.
or die, black hat mentality. I think if you're in high school though, like I would say try a ton of stuff. Or out of high school, try a ton like in that 18 to 25 time, try a ton of things like activities, hobbies, meet a ton of different people. One thing I did benefit from living through New York around that time is I just always was around a ton of crazy people, and I would just go out and meet the I'd meet like someone that was like I I didn't like I'd meet the craziest people ever. Like I think Jack, we probably both have a lot of crazy stories about random New Yorkers we met. But it's like
Totally.
try to just like expand, always expand, and keep a really light heart.
Dude, when I was 18, I started trading crypto. And by the time I was 19, I was working at this crypto company. But when I got the job, all that happened was they needed someone to run a Discord or a Slack channel. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I just said, yes, I can do that.
yeah.
And then I was like, well, I have to do a good job because A, I want them to pay me and I want to make more money. So I
That's
kept doing a
scheming.
better. I did a better job. And then they came to me and said, can you write a press release? And I said, sure. And then you know what I did? I Googled what a press release was. And then I
Yeah,
had to learn, and then I had to call some people, and I had to go I had to go call my mom and be like, "Do you know anyone that writes press releases?" Literally, I called my mom and said, "Do you know anyone that writes press releases?" And she's like, "My friend works in PR," and I was like, "Can I please talk with her because I have to write a press
yeah.
release and I don't know how."
That's
And
so
then
funny.
I just kept doing stuff. Hey, can you design a banner on YouTube? All right. Watch an Indian guy show me how to graphic design on Canva for 4 hours. You know what I mean? And then put together a shitty banner to trick my boss into thinking I know how to do graphic design. I
And
just,
also, like, just or real quick, I just think it's super awesome, just because like all those things you're saying, and this is super important. If someone, I don't know if you're like out of high school, everything he's saying is all demand based. School,
yes,
it's school of hard knock shit. He was doing stuff that was needed, and he fulfilled the
yes.
need.
All that happened is people came to me with problems, and I said, think about this. How many times in high school or college or wherever did someone ask you to do something you've never done before that you did not want to do, and you had to do it in order to get an A,
Yeah,
right? But this time, someone would pay me money if I did a good job. And I was like, wait, rather than getting an A, if I do a good job, I get money? Now I'll try. I was
yeah,
like, the incentive was there. So I just always was in a position where people were asking me to do things I've never done before. And guys, every single day, someone asked me to put together a proposal for something recently, and I was like, on it. And then I got
yeah,
off of the call and was like, I have to invent a proposal by tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm proposing. I just told him I'd write
yeah.
one. And now I have to write a proposal.
Yeah, it's like say like yes to stuff that's like, and not everything, but to
Of
stuff that's
course.
like opportunity based. That's like show up, follow through with like if someone's like, oh, like I need it, because if you're 18 and you're a guy, people are going to be throwing various opportunities at you, especially if you're in like at least middle class environment or really any environment. People are going to have random stuff coming at you, like you need to just like try stuff, keep an open mind, but you're gonna probably get effed over because that happens to a lot of people. But like you're gonna have to just keep like trying to put yourself out there. You'll
And
figure it out.
And knowing quickly, how did Jared and I meet? Jared and I met. I hired Jared for
Yeah,
my last company. I needed a crackshot front end engineer after my CTO quit,
that's
and
what's up.
Jared came in to save us at the very last second.
Do they even know that I do front end? Guys, I'm also a really good front end.
And that's how I hired. He was a cracked front end engineer. I remember, our head of product at the time. We were interviewing this guy, and Jared clearly we gave him a problem, and Jared solved it like it was the easiest problem in the world. And my engineer just calls me. He's like, "Yeah, we got to hire him." Like,
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I remember, dude. It was amazing. You were a
Oh,
savior.
yeah. Yeah, I remember I really enjoyed helping you guys out because I was like contracting. I vowed before I did that, I was right out of that. I fully committed to my life and left that fire academy, and there was you guys were like the first company I contacted to do contracting. And I remember, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna like do it. I'm not gonna be a firefighter. I'm just gonna do this stuff. And I remember I really enjoyed helping you guys out because like it was nice because like I feel like you guys were very like grateful and like you guys really were about like doing like the work and like grinding and hustling and like and changing things up because most like founders and I find that like and this changes the way I look at like my current venture. Most founders can't switch up and be like super like bendable, I guess. And you guys would
Yeah.
be like, oh, we got to change things and let's change it. And I thought that was really cool.
Listen, man, it was change or die. As
Change or
when you
die.
have a terrible product that no one wants, you have to keep building products until someone wants something. That's kind of just the lifeblood of startups.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you want to see more front end? Okay. Yeah, I did it. It's funny. I guess like I've done more. I don't know. I've done back end and front end kind of equally, um, professionally, but like I do a ton of front end with my projects because it's seeing things come to life gives you the energy to just keep going. Building and selling. Can you break it down for us, Jack? Can you break down building and selling?
Yes, I can. So, capitalism is devised of products that are built for this world. It could be products, can be consulting, they can be this microphone, it can be software, but it's something that you sell to someone. But that product has to be built. So you can either work on the engineering team, you can be a designer, but you can be someone who's actually taking part in the manufacturing of that product. But once a piece of software, a piece of hardware, this microphone is built, some guy has to sell it. You know how these companies become billion-dollar companies? Because there's 1,000 dudes calling your mom, your dad, your uncle, whoever else is buying that shit and convincing them to buy it. That's how
Yeah.
capitalism works. That's how Tupperwares got sold. That's how knives got sold. That's how iPhones got sold. People sold these things. And it's like there's only two jobs. Now, selling, now there's many ways you can sell. You can build community to sell. You can work on a marketing team, so you write press releases. You actually aren't ever on phone calls with customers, but you're writing content to sell to customers. But you can also be the guy, an account executive, where your job is literally to take phone calls with prospective customers who are like, hey, should I buy this microphone? And you're like, we have the best specs on the market. You should definitely buy their microphone. We beat out competition. And then if you sell that microphone, you get 10% of the microphone sale. So you make 25 bucks. So you can make commission. So there's many ways to, but my whole point is like, you're either developing a product or you're a part of the sales process of the product. And sales can be marketing, it could be like literal account executive sales, or it could be door to door sales. My friend sold HVAC. I'm not trying to ramble, but like that's what I mean
No,
when I say
dude, this is
building and
great.
selling.
Yeah, like what? So I I would say based on that framework, knowing if you're in a situation where you're trying to figure out who you are and what that is, try to see in that building selling framework like what are your skills? Are you a builder? Are you a seller? Like what is it? The scheming's when you do both the building, selling, and then retire. Scheming's when you go Super Saiyan and you
Yes,
do, and people build and sell for you because you're so awesome.
that that
Ske-
is that is kind of a scheme. But part of a scheme, like for me, I was like, I'm building this startup. I can't, but I'm this the founder of this company, but I can't code, so I have to find Jared. So I'm
right,
scheming.
right,
I schemed to find Jared, and then I had to convince Jared to help me, which he did. Thank
yeah,
God. And then I'm like, all right, now that he's helping me, I have to build the thing that Jared's selling, which I kind of could do, but sometimes was bad at. But it's just you're trying. Hell
yeah.
yeah, Kevin, you're a builder then.
I yeah, I do a lot of building and selling. It's you should you should pick if you want if you ever get into a situation where you're in the abstract and you're like taking ownership over stuff. Really outsource the things you don't understand and humble the fuck out of yourself. Like it'd be
Yes.
like if you don't understand one side and if you're not as good, do you just cold call people a day for your startup? No, no. In fact, I need to get because I don't want to spend all day selling. So I actually need to open up a sales channel. Um, the but I do like I do a lot of I mostly do networking for so I'm actually taking ownership of the contract side right now, and my co-founder is doing a lot of the side with the electricians in the immediate because the contracting is where we need to make money, and for the immediate, you know what's interesting? But yeah, like try to get very good at holding other people accountable because the more people you hold accountable, the more of a setup you have, the more of an operation you have. It's like, what's your
Totally.
accountability structure?
Totally.
Like Jack was like, I need to hold someone accountable at the front end, and I helped out with the front end, right?
Yeah,
You hold people accountable for things for your gaps, and people
that's
need to
right.
be held accountable. They like it. They
That's
do.
right.
Let's see. Do people who have well-off parents have the ability to fail more because they have a safety net? They have the ability to also misunderstand their position and be not self-aware. So yeah, so if you have a well-off parents, you have the ability to. You could have the ability to fail more, but there's also a more likelihood of not understanding where you currently are, which could be a benefit and drawback. Let's see. I need a co-founder. Oh, how'd you guys meet co-founders? What do you think, Jack?
I joined a lot of communities. I joined accelerator programs. I DM'd hundreds of people on Twitter. I take phone calls with new people. I just have a reputation where anytime someone, my friends will just send like any time they have a friend who's building a crypto company, they tell them, go talk to Jack. He might know someone, or at least he can talk to you about it. He can tell you his experience. So I just talk to everyone and anyone I ever can. That's my strategy, and I meet a lot
Yeah.
of people. And so I met my co-founder running this startup accelerator. I met my last co-founder mentoring at a college, and I got connected because he went to the same college I used to go to, and we became co-founders.
The,
Uh,
that's a great question. How do you tell the difference between a good co-founder and a schemer?
Ideally, your co-founder is a great schemer, but hopefully you get along with them and you trust them. That like the thing a co-founder has is like mutual trust and overlapping
Yeah,
skills, and hopefully they're also a schemer. My one of my co-founders was not a schemer, and we did not. That's why we didn't align very well, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you should both have the schemer mentality, in my opinion. It's just that, like, I think the different dispositions should be very different. So you guys can kind of bear different loads, if that makes
Totally.
sense. But I think like if you look at like, and I know this is such a classic example, but like the Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs thing, they were both schemers. You could say, oh, Steve Woz wasn't a schemer. The dude was spending every single day in his garage, like hustling to build like a little computer, and he would always do these hobbyists. He just wasn't on the sales side, right? Like that was more of the other side. But his building was scheming,
Totally.
and so like try to. I think that's the best mix. You know, it's hard for me to trust something I already spent a year or two. Then I guess I need a non-psychopathic schemer.
Yeah, what I can say about giving up equity, because it sounds like Art, you're in a position where you're thinking about is it worth giving up equity to bring someone into a business you've been working on for a year or two? Here's the advice I got. This came from tech founders who've built and made a lot of money building companies. And they would say, be honest with yourself. If you haven't gotten very far yet, like you haven't started making a lot of money, you haven't like sold a lot of contracts, you haven't built a lot of proprietary tech, and you can bring someone in who will really help you. And like if I were building something and I found Jared and I've been building it for a year, I'm not a coder, and I know Jared's good and he loves what I'm doing. I might consider giving him 50% if we get along really well. You can structure an agreement where he gets 50% after we work for 3 months together, have checkpoints, and really love working together. You can structure something out into an agreement. But like I would gladly give him 50% of something I've been working on for a year if I thought I could actually build a $1 billion company with this guy. Because $1 billion, 50% of a billion is worth way more than 50% of nothing. So it's like, how much will this person actually help you achieve the goal? And if it's gonna help you, yeah, give up half
Yeah,
the company for a really good partner.
yeah. a walk-on part in the war or a lead role in a cage. That's what it's like. Do you want to? It's like, oh no, I want to have everything. I want to do everything myself. It's like maybe just do your job well and hold other people accountable for doing their job well. And then your job is now the leader who's holding people accountable, which is the
Totally.
most important job. But it's still it's a role, right? Can't do everything.
Totally.
I'm on the launch mode but haven't launched. Launch art. Why do founders get mad if someone steals an idea they could execute? I think it's natural. I think it's primal. Fools, I don't. What is that? Fools is on Twitch, just posting random stuff.
Hilarious.
Hey, Fools, you want
What's
to
up?
explain that?
I see
Everyone's waiting.
I see someone just said something. Knowing you said I don't know what I'm good at. Shit sucks real, but thanks for the good advice, Jack. What I'll say about not knowing what you're good at, you have to try a lot of things to know what you're good at. I figured out what I was good at because I tried a lot of things, and when I finally tried something I was good at, I was like, wait, I actually didn't just suck from the get go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, jamming out to Pink Floyd. uh, well, I'll just sing Pink Floyd for like 2 hours and let's see if we'll get some impressions.
That's gonna be, yeah. Scheming is actually not entertaining for people at all. We just need to shred Pink Floyd and we get followers.
Yeah, knowing, I'd say start like I think it's really a mentality thing. I've had moments where I've literally been like really good at something and I in my mind mentally thought that I sucked. I've had those moments and really it's just because I was looking at it wrong. I wasn't looking at reality. I was looking at it was through my lens of a lack of self-belief. So it's like I would say try to fight that mental fight a little bit because like, and I think the best way to do it is to do what Jack was doing in the early times, and when people throw opportunities at you, just throw yourself in, be the man in the arena,
That's right.
you
Be the
know,
man in the arena. Play the game. Participate.
and you'll be nervous at first, your hands will shake, but
I
in
just
the
got.
end you'll figure it out. Yeah,
And if you're scared of failing, realize that everything I've ever done in life has eventually failed. Failure is inevitability. Our bodies give out eventually and we die. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like the game comes to an end regardless. It's not about failing, it's about the process of doing stuff along the way.
yeah.
Genuinely.
There's entropy. You're gonna die one day. You're gonna hate yourself, or you're gonna go push forward and crush. It's a choice. Like it's not a lot of is freelancing a good way to learn how to sell? I learned a ton from selling, starting a contracting business when I was like 22 or 21. Yeah, you'll learn a lot. It's super difficult, and you need a lot of discipline.
Yeah, because you actually have to wake up and go, I have to sell and no one's telling me not to. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a
Yeah,
boss saying if you don't sell you're fired. You can go, look at YouTube videos all day.
and that's a one big thing where you have to uh, get really good at holding people accountable.
Totally.
So it's like if someone I learned a lot running an app biz at 20. RC, how did that go? I feel like is this I don't know how that went.
Was it a vape distribution app or what?
No, just playing.
I know.
But
I was just giving you a hard time.
was the yeah, no, it's fine. We're all failures here. But
Dude,
we're all
literally
winners too. We're
the
winning.
startup I met Jared at failed and then my co-founder pivoted and ended up building something else.
Yeah.
That happens.
Like you just push forward. You just keep going.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan failed a ton. I know that's the most like dumb, like hokey answer you could give, but it's like it's true. It's true.
Totally.
Anyway,
On
Jack,
the-
I think
yeah, it's about time.
it's about time. I think it's about time. All right,
Boys, we
This is
got to
great.
call it.
We gotta call it. This is a fun one. Next time maybe we'll get like a format or something. I don't know.
Oh, we're going to introduce some segments. We've got big
Yeah.
plans coming to Schemeology.
Big
We're
plans.
scheming this hard, guys.
Yeah, we've been thinking about some interesting concepts. I had a party boat business with friends in the Philippines. Dude, Kevin, I feel like you have a wild life.
Dude, I know.
And
I
you're
want to hear
still
all about
okay.
it. I'm very curious. I hope you know.
Where did that come from? You're like,
Hell yeah.
so yeah, I had a party boat business in the Philippines. Anyway, here before famous, NYC to MIA to UK. Does Jack have a YouTube? Jack, do you want to push a YouTube or push anything?
I will be making YouTube videos, but I don't have anything public just so
Okay.
far.
Okay.
Follow me on Twitter. I'll make YouTube videos and post them in the Discord. You can follow me. But
And
follow Jared, because this is where Schemeology happens. Or just follow Schemeology, the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, we got to put Schemeology. We have a specific YouTube channel for this. But yeah, follow us, donate to the streams, which so far is me. So we actually need to get a Schemeology donation. Totally forgot. You sent that to me. Oh wait.
Can we even post our own YouTube in the chat? Does that work?
It's all good. I can post it in the description.
Hell yeah. Subscribe to Schemeology, boys.
All right. I'll see you guys. It was fun.